What's going on, everybody? Jack here from Half Chrome, and today I'm talking about this. This is the Emax Nanohawk, and it's a 65mm whoop, and this thing has some power. In fact, this is the best flying whoop I think Emax has made, and maybe the best flying whoop I've ever gotten. However, I'm not going to recommend this thing to a lot of people. Why? Well, stay tuned. Okay, so first let's figure out what we're talking about here. This is the Nanohawk. It's a tiny whoop, so it's 65mm and it's about 20 grams. It's an F4 flight controller and it's an SPI receiver, which is run in D8 mode. So you're not going to get super great range in this thing. Flying around the house, I did just fine. It has a 25 milliwatt VTX, and it is running smart audio, so you can switch it if you want. It's the Runcam Nano 3, which has a pretty decent picture, but it's not super easy to fix or adjust the angle. These motors are great. They're 0802 19,000 kV motors, and you're going to be running a 1S battery on this. You get this battery. It is a 300 milliamp hour 1S battery, 80C, but you'll notice the tip here is different. This is a GMB 27. And it's very similar to the design of the 450, but it's shorter. And of course, the 450 is run a PH 2.0. There's even batteries with BT 2.0 connectors. So now there's 3 different kind of connectors, or 4 if you count the ET 2.0. So what's the deal with all the connectors and why are there so many options now? Well, turns out the old standard PH 2.0 isn't the best in terms of just being able to give you reliable power. So GMB developed these 27s, and Beta FPV developed these BT 2.0s. So these new batteries do give you a little bit better, just consistent power, but you know, if you're like me and you've got a ton of these batteries laying around, these PH 2.0s, you're gonna have to go out and buy new batteries. They're about $7 a piece for these Emax 300 milliamp hour batteries. I think you can get a pack of 4 for like $24. And if you do want to fly this thing, you're going to want a bunch of batteries. So you're probably going to want to do that. Now it does ship with a connector, so you can charge at least 6 of these at a time. But you can see this is the PH 2.0 connector, so they've given you a couple of connectors to charge. So while I do like the new battery, I'm not a big fan of having to buy new batteries. Now if this is your first drone, not a problem for you. These propellers are also a new design. They're Emax. Emax does make some really nice props, and this is also the case. They're pretty powerful, and they do a nice job of getting the power from the motors and get this thing moving. So I have a box of tiny whoop propellers. Problem is I can't use any of these on the Nanohawk because the motor mount is a little bit thicker. So I could really squeeze these on, but they just didn't fit quite right. So it's not really a good idea. Why am I not recommending this? It's not because of the props and it's not because of the battery connector. I think, you know, those are 2 minor issues that I'm not a big fan of, but really when it comes down to it, this thing doesn't crash well. It flies fantastic until you crash. And when you crash, you'll notice these prop guards, well, they don't really do a very good job. So if you hit a wall, props bend pretty darn easily. Once these props get nicked, it introduces vibrations into the video. So pretty much on my first crash, I got that, right? And it doesn't get better. Like, you can try and bend the props back into place, and sometimes that helps. Sometimes it makes it go away a little bit, but overall, it just left me with shaky video. Now, thankfully, they include another set of props in the box, but again, the problem with that is first crash, shaky video. Surprisingly, Emax didn't include one of these carrying cases that they have been all along, so I'm not sure what that is. Maybe it's just a cost-saving method. That was a tiny bit disappointing. So if you want the best in performance, yeah, this really does perform quite well. But if you're like me and you want a tiny whip to fly around the house, this is not something that I would recommend. The minute you hit a wall, the minute you bump something, the minute you crash, you're gonna get that shaky video. And unless you wanna change props every time, to me, that's kind of a no-go. So what would I recommend? Well, you know, there are plenty of other really nice Emax products. Any of the Tiny Hawks are fantastic. But right now, my favorite whoop is actually this guy. This is the Beta FPV Meteor 65. And again, we got another different kind of connector. So there's that. But, I really like this. The Mobula 6 is another good one. Again, any sort of Tiny Hawk will really do. There are a lot of really good whoops out there. I just have a hard time recommending this one because it just doesn't crash well. It really is kind of a shame because Emax makes really great stuff, and I think that was just kind of an oversight. They were trying to save weight. You're going to get about 3 minutes of flight time on something like this, give or take, kind of depending how you fly. So, you kind of be the judge. Do you want the best in performance? Something you can take outside, fly an acro, fly inside an angle. If you're really good and you're not worried about crashing into stuff, it might be a pretty good option. Otherwise, I'd probably look somewhere else. So I know you haven't seen a video from Chris or I in a while. We've been doing some remodeling. You can see we've got a new drone studio going on here. We will be resuming our live streams every other Tuesday night. So tune in for those. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button so you don't miss our content. And if you're looking to make a purchase, we've got affiliate links down below that can help support this channel. Don't forget, we give away a drone a month to a lucky Patreon. So if you want information on that, also check that link down below. Hey, good luck and happy flying.